Hello, welcome back to Downside Bio class. So last we discussed about the very interesting topic of the sexual reproduction of the flowering plants. So in the last class we discussed about the pollination, how the plants are favored the cross pollination, right? And what is and how the double fertilization takes place. Last year we discussed about that. But in our in this class we discuss about the post-fertilization events, because we lastly discussed the fertilization of the angiosperm. That time we understand that the fertilization of the angiosperm is called the double fertilization, because fertilization takes place in the two types. Number one, when the egg cells are fused with the male gametes, that time the zygote are formed, and where the chromosome number of the zygote is the 2n, so the diploid in nature. But you know, in the central cell is there in the middle portion of the embryo sac, they also fused with the egg cells, right? That time the 2n and n, they fused with each other, so 3n, that means it is called the triple fusion. And in the embryo sac, two types of fertilization are happening, so it is called double fertilization. But now today we discuss the post-fertilization events. That means what has happened after the fertilization. We are classify or the post-fertilization topic into the four events, but most important it is the endosperm development, embryo development, ovule into the seeds developments, and the ovary into fruit developments. That is the four important process which is happening in the post-fertilization process. One by one we discuss this thing. Number one, the endosperm development process. It is a fertilized embryo sac, you know. That means it is the PEN, primary endosperm nucleus. That means here the chromosome number in the 3n, right? On the other hand, here the zygote is there. It is the micropylar end, because in the near to micropylar end the zygote are formed. So in the schematic view you can understand also that point, that two synergids is there, and this is the egg cells. It is the endosperm and initiation the proliferations. It is inside the ovule it is happening. So the primary endosperm nucleus, they are contain the 3n number of chromosome, but now they are divided and produce the new type of nucleus or the cells. So primary endosperm nucleus, they divide rapidly, right? So and form a triploid endosperm tissues. Why it is called triploid? Because 3n number of chromosome is there. Endosperm cell ultimately filled with the reserve the food material, because the embryo when they ultimately grow, that time this endosperm provide the nutrition, right? So in common endosperm ultimately develop from the PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, which ultimately undergoes to the nuclear division, not the cytoplasm division or cellular form. So it is called the nuclear division. So only primary endosperm nucleus divided, right, and produce the new nucleus. It is called the free nucleus or free nuclear endosperm. So number of ultimately free nuclei ultimately varies greatly in different plant species. But endosperm becomes cellular when ultimately these nucleus are covered up with the cell wall. That time it is called the cellular endosperm. So endosperm mainly the three types: the nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, and the helical type of endosperm. But you know, common example is there in your NCERT books, that is the tender coconut oil, that is the free nuclear endosperm, right? And which is made up of thousands of nuclei, and the surrounding kernel, the white part, it is the cellular endosperm. So most common two examples there, which one is a free nuclear and which one is a cellular level endosperm is there. But now we discuss about how the embryo is developing. Embryo development is happening in the micropylar end. Why micropylar end? Because in near to micropylar end, zygote is situated. Zygote which is formed with the fusion of male gametes and the egg cells. So in the zygote now divide in the mitosis process, right? But after the endosperm, the zygote dividing is ultimately starting, Why? Because ultimately endosperm give the nutrition. So at first the endosperm are produced, after that ultimately zygote multiply, right? So this give nutrition to development the embryo. It is a function of the endosperm also. So in the monocots and dicots, most important events in here happening. Monocots and dicots seeds differ greatly because their structure is so different. But you know, in the embryogeny, what is the mean by embryogeny? Early embryonic development is very similar to monocots and dicots. It is very important aspect in the evolution process because you know, we already know that recapitulation theory in the evolution chapter, where we discuss that every living organism can recapitulate in their ancestor in the embryonic stage. In here, it is happening. So it is proved that from this particular point, monocots and dicots have their common ancestor, but in the different localities, they change their structure, they change their habitats, right? So, evolutionary point of view, that point is more important. In embryology, by embryogeny stage, monocots and dicots are similar, their growing pattern. So, if you observe this NCERT book picture, that time you observe that first of all the zygote is formed in the microbial. After that, it is start to initiation of the cell division. So, the pro-embryo are formed. After, it is the globular embryo, right? Next, it is a heart-shaped embryo. And this one is the mature embryo. This picture is very important in an NEET exam. So, please you draw this picture and label all of this part, right? So, it is very important part. Because at first, you know, the zygotes divide in the mitosis process in here, right? The two cells are produced in every stage. So after that, this structure, globular embryo are formed. In here, it is the suspensor cells, and after that, when in the mature state, radicle and plumule are developed, right? And from that radical part, roots are developed, and from the plumule part, the shoot are developed in later stage. So this is the formation process of the embryo. But you know, the embryo development is ultimately some differences there in the dicots and monocots. So we given the two pictures from the NCERT book. That is the dicot embryo and it is the monocots embryo. But what is the different structural point is there? So number one, it has the embryonal axis. Now we discuss dicot embryo. So it has the embryonal axis. This one is called the embryonal axis, right? And the two cotyledons. So this side is called the cotyledons, and this side, this portion is called the embryonal axis. But you know that di means the two. So from this name you easily understand that in the dicotyledons the two cotyledons is there. So this is the structure. But now we discuss about the structure of embryonal axis above the cotyledons. That means this part is very important. It is called the epicotyle. In epicotyle and hypocotyle is a two region which is ultimately terminated in that particular junction point. It is called the plumule. Plumule is the point from where the shoot are developed. Now the cylindrical portions just below level of cotyledons, it is the hypocotyle, right? This one is the hypocotyle, and that terminates by the radicle. Radicle means from where the root are generated, and radicle ultimately covered by the root cap. What is the function of the root cap? Root cap provide the protection of the radicle, right? So this is the most important structure of the dicotyledon embryo. So most important plumule, radicles, hypocotyle and epicotyles. These terms you bear in mind. Now we discuss this structure. This is the monocotyledons. Monocotyledons means they have the one cotyledons in their embryo. But you know, cotyledons in the grass family is called the scutellum. So if you differentiate this name only, the cotyledons and scutellum are the same things, but only the name is different. Like scutellum, it is present in the monocotyledons. So their name is so different. But you know, it is the scutellum. Cotyledons. it is present in the monocotyledons. Monocotyledons means the mono means the one. So they have the one cotyledons in their structure. But you know, it is situated where? It is in lateral to the embryonal axis. In the lateral point it is present. Right? Another point is there, that is the radical part. Radicals also is there, and it is ultimately enclosed also the root cap, and it is ultimately most important part, coleorhiza. Coleorhiza is a junction where the radical is there, right? So radical and coleorhiza is ultimately more or less same things, but they are ultimately associated with each other to perform their function efficiently. So it is the radicals, it is the root cap, it is the coleorhiza. So we discussed the scutellum and these portions. Now we discuss in that particular point, this portion above the embryonal axis, it is called ultimately the epicotyle. You can understand this. This is ultimately epicotyle part. In the epicotyle part, the shoot apex is there. This is the shoot apex, means from that portion the shoot are developed, and also you know, and a few leaf-like appendages or primordia are enclose the coleoptile part. It is the part of the coleoptile, right? Where it is present above the shoot apex. So, very important structure, coleoptile is a folio and a hollow structure. Also, this point is very important in your NEET syllabus. So, this is the structure of the monocotyledons embryo. And most important substance, scutellum, epicotyle and hydrocotyle is there. But we now discuss the structure of the seed. But how the seed are formed? Seed are formed after the ripening of the ovule. So, seed ultimately the fertilized ovule form inside the fruit for their protections. It is final product of the sexual reproduction, because from the seed a new plant can be generated. So in the seed you have the three parts: seed coat, another is the cotyledons, another is the inside that the embryonal axis is there, right? But you know, the cotyledons are very simple, generally thick and swollen due to the storage of food. So endosperm they are also stored in the food. But embryo, they have also the capacity to the store in the food. So they are also being the swollen in nature, right? So this is the structure of the seed, outer covering seed coat, right? And the cotyledons and the embryonal axis. This is the normal structure, but we discussed the seed is ultimately differentiated in the main two categories, that is the dicot seed and the monocot seed. Dicot seed like the pea seed or bean seed, unlike the maize or like the grass, it is belongs to the monocotyledons. So seeds from the ovules, also we categorize the monocot to dicot seed into two another term, that is a non-albuminous. Non-albuminous means also the dicotyledon seed. That means they have no residual endosperm in their structure. So commonly it is present in the dicot seed like the pea, groundnut and the beans. Now we discuss the embryonal albuminous seed. Albuminous seed means the endospermic seed. That means the endosperm is present in there, right? Endosperm ultimately not completely used up, so they are present in that structure. Most commonly are example wheat, maize, castor. Castor is the exception where it is the dicotyledons, but they have the endosperm. So this is the most important part in your NCERT book, right? So the structure of the some seeds like the non-albuminous and albuminous seeds. This picture is very important. It is the monocot seed, the maize seed. Now we discuss another things, very important concept. It is some occasionally, they are not in every seeds, occasionally in some seeds like the black pepper or the beet, they are ultimately remnants of the nucleus also be present. That means nucleuses are destroyed, but in this case, like in the black pepper, it is present there. So it termed the perisperm. So now we discuss that integuments of the ovule. You know the ovules are covered with the two integuments, right? In here, the integuments are ultimately harder, right? And they ultimately produce the protective seed coat, which is give the protection of the cotyledons and the embryo. But in the seed coat, one small pore is there. You easily observe into the bean seed, right? It is the main small pore. It is called the micropylorate. But what is the importance of the micropylorate? It is the main site through which the oxygen, water enter into the seed during the germination. So this portion of micropylorate egg is take the important role in the seed germination process. So the perisperm and the micropylorate, we discussed this thing in that particular slide. Now we discuss another part that the seeds ultimately when they mature, their content ultimately reduce and seeds become dry. Generally the 10 to 15% moisture of mass is ultimately there. But generally their metabolic activity greatly slow down. So the embryo may enter into the state of dormancy. What is the mean by dormancy? Like they are metabolically inactive, right? But when they get the suitable condition like oxygen, moisture, suitable temperature, that time they germinate. That is a very important features of the seed. For that reason they can resistance or they can survive in many times and long times, right? So the advantage of seeds. Since pollination and fertilization are independent of water, without water it is happening because air pollination, insect pollination also different there. But that when the seed is germinated, that time the water is most important thing, because that every living organism, the main part is the water. So germination of the seed, the water is important. So better adaptive strategy of dispersion of new habitats, it helps to the species to colonize the other area. So seed dispersal is a very important process in every plant. So they adopt the different food dispersal process, seed dispersal process, also the food dispersal process also one part, because inside the food the seed is there. So they have the food reservoir, right? So young seedlings are nourished until they are capable of photosynthesis. All of this part is present inside the seed. So seed is a very unique structure. They have a lot of advantage for any plants, their continuation, their life. Another some advantage also is there. Now that the hard seed coat protect the young embryo, right? Because embryo is present inside the seed. Being ultimately product of sexual reproductions, they ultimately generate the new genetic recombination that lead to variation. We already discussed that variation is a very important thing of the living organism. So dehydrations and dormancy of mature seeds are very crucial for the storage of seeds, and it can be used for the food throughout the year, also to rise up the new crop in the next seasons due to their dormancy properties. So dormancy properties and genetic recombination or genetic combination in hard seed coats is very advantageous for the plant to continue their life, right? So the seed is a product of sexual reproduction. But the viability of the seeds after disposal is vary in different species. Like in few species, the seeds are viable within the few months. After that, ultimately they dead. But many seeds are live in the several years. In your NCERT books, the oldest seeds are usually found in the lupin, the Lupinus arcticus, right? This is ultimately the excavated from the Arctic tundra. It is very important. It is the oldest seed, right? Bear in mind, oldest seed, right? So seed germinations and flower, and ultimately their estimation record like 10,000 years of dormancy. After 10,000 years, they can germinate. So huge, right? So that is the lupin. That is scientific name also you bear in mind, because it is very important question in the your NEET part. Now in the next another example is there from your NCERT book. That is example is that this is the oldest, but the 2000 years old viable seeds of the dead palm, that is the Phoenix and Dracuflera, discovered during the archaeological time, and the excavations in the King Herodotus occurs place near the Dead Sea. So it is the dead palm and their viability of the seeds is 2000 years, and it is but the oldest lupin, right? So you now go to another point, that is the fruit. Fruit, where it is developed, the ovary develop into the fruit. Ovule develop into seed and the ovary develop into the fruit. Transformation of ovules into seeds and ovary into fruits produce simultaneously. Why? Because the wall of the ovary are ultimately develop into the pericarp. What is the mean by pericarp? It is the wall of the fruit. You know, the pericarp, it is the picture in there. In pericarp is the three zone is there, right? Outer zone is called exocarp, middle zone it is called the mesocarp, and the inner zone which is covered just the seed, it is called the endocarp. And these layers are collectively known as the pericarp, right? So seed have also be three parts: endosperm, embryo, and the seed coat. Right? You can understand this thing: seed and their covering is the endocarp. This is the mesocarp, and this is the exocarp. So thus all the fruits, not the fleshy. Some fruits are very fleshy, like guava, like mango, like orange. But some fruits are very dry in condition, like the groundnuts and the mustard. So fruits are classified in that format, the two types, the fleshy fruits and the dry fruits. Now we discuss another things. Fruits are also in two types according to their origin, from where they develop. The true fruits, that means that fruits develop from that ovary. The maximum fruits are belong to this category, like the mango are the most common example. But you know, the false fruit, that time the other than ovary, like the thalamus, the fruits are developed, that time it is called, right, that is the false fruit. Like apple, strawberry and the cashew is the most important. Three example is there, your NCERT books show this is most important also in the NEET. So you know, understand that in that procedure of the origin of the fruits, it is the true type, true fruits and the false fruit. From the ovary, that time it is true fruit. From the other than ovary, like thalamus, it is the false fruit. So it is the most important two classifications of the fruit. Now discuss another very important topic for your NCERT point of view, that is, in some species, like the fruits are developed